Minecraft Major Update 1.22. Now, to be abundantly clear here today, I'm not talking about the upcoming Pale Garden Creaking Update. The Pale Garden Creaking Update, it's not 1.22. It's actually 1.21.50, yet in the same breath, it's 1.21.4. Today, we're talking the real deal. Minecraft 1.22. Presumably at this point, the next super major Minecraft update. When is it? Today together, we're going to unravel the mystery of this next update, what might be going on, and come to our best possible conclusion. So, you know me. At least probably. You likely know me. There are a couple of great joys I have in life. Music, Minecraft, history. To begin to look to the future, 1.22, 0.23 and beyond, we need to look to the past. Development of Minecraft, it's got a long storied history, 15 years of it at this point. Now, the early days of Minecraft were quite chaotic. With all these randomly drop updates that vary in size big time, we might be looking at a future that is a little bit similar to that. But for now, the part of development that we really care about kicks off around 2019. 2019, maybe even a hair before, with the Village and Pillage update. Ever since really the Village and Pillage update, we've kind of been on the same cyclical routine when it comes to major Minecraft updates. Every single time, reliably, since 1.18. Once a year or so, we could expect one major update to Minecraft. Now both 1.15 and 1.18, there are a little bit of outliers, with each of those updates originally being planned to have been combined with the update prior. However, since then, with Minecraft Wild Update, with Minecraft Trails and Tales, and with Minecraft Tricky Trials Update, one update a year, smack dab at the beginning of June. With a couple of years done in the books in our pocket, things were getting pretty predictable. If you were to ask me when Minecraft 1.22 would be dropping a handful of months ago, well, I would have said it's a no-brainer. It'll be dropping about like June 8th or something next year. Everything was stable and predictable until, bam, as I'm sure you know, there's no way you haven't heard, September 8th, 2024, the future of Minecraft's development. Initially a little bit frightening, moving forward a couple of months on now, maybe it's not so bad. In the big announcement post from September 8th earlier this year, Mojang announced that basically updates are over, drops are in. Except in the same time, they said updates actually aren't over, but more on that in a minute. The idea that the dev team has here is to get updates out to us, the people, the community, a little bit quicker. Drops are essentially still major new updates, except they basically come out more quickly, and they kind of vary in size a little bit too. Some of them might be quite large, other ones maybe a little smaller. At the time of recording this video, our most recent example, of course, would be the Bundles of Bravery drop. A decently sizable update that released on both Minecraft and Java and Bedrock, containing a lot of the same features, but at the same time, there's so many different features too. This new drop is, in my opinion, probably the perfect example of what we can expect drops to be in the future. Because at least for Java, not only inside of this drop do we have a bunch of new features like bundles, brand new trial chambers, but also we had some updates to old features that have been in the game for a hot minute now. Like these juicy new toilet paper, banner pattern items. Drops are the new way of doing things. We've had a handful of them. However, interestingly, this changelog, announcement post, whatever you want to call it, clarifies that that's not all our devs will be working on. Minecraft is a game that has been growing since its first release, and alongside those regular content drops, our developers will be focusing on long-term initiatives to ensure we can continue to evolve Minecraft in the long future. That's interesting. Those words right there, those bunch of them, long-term initiatives. This is the kind of technical jargon mumbo-jumbo that leads to quite a bit of confusion. What in the heck is a long-term initiative, and is that Minecraft 1.22? For today, if we're looking for the answer of a future update, which exactly that's the point, that's why you clicked on it. I hate to make assumptions, but we're gonna have to make a couple of them. Educatedly and informedly, we're gonna have to assume that long-term initiatives, well, that's technical, muddied up verbiage speech for big major updates. 1.22. To put it in other words, drops are the new big thing, but Minecraft 1.22 and major updates, they're real too. So next up, let's talk a little bit more about drops. To actually talk about it, let's go ahead and define again what a drop is. Drops are items that appear when mobs and some... Wait a second, this is the complete wrong type of drop. Drops. So far at this point in time, we've actually had a couple of them. Some of the drops we didn't even know were drops at the time. This new modern drop system, it seems to have begun with Minecraft 1.20.3 late last year, the Bats and Pots update. And that's kind of interesting because at the time of release, 1.20.3 and whatever the heck it was on Bedrock, it wasn't technically defined as a drop. Instead, the wiki now reads, now that we know it is a drop, it has its proper name, which we didn't know at the time, and it says it is a retroactive game drop released on whatever. Going forward from there, we had 1.20.4, which is nothing. Then we had 1.20.5, which is our second drop. The Bats and Pots update, our first drop, released on December 5th, 2023 for both versions of the game. Fast forward, our second drop, the Armored Paws drop, released on April 23rd, 2024 for both versions of the game. Now, in between the Armored Paws drop and the next drops that we had Minecraft 1.21. That is a full and apparently seemingly major update. This update would, of course, as we know, go on to release June 13th, 2024, so approximately 2 months after the Armored Paws drop. Jumping back to our timeline, 1.21.1, it's nothing. 1.21.2, our third and final drop, at least officially defined right now. About 4 months after the Tricky Trials update release, the Bundles of Bravery drop is upon us, October 22nd on both versions of the game. An interesting pattern is happening. So timelines, this is exactly why I love them. So right here, I have a little bit of a timeline as to what's going on right now. We have the Bats and Pots drop, that's kind of where our drop thing starts. Then we have 4 months of time, and then we got the Armored Paws drop. After that, we had Armor's Paw, 2 months of time, Tricky Trials. Then, the pattern begins here again. We have the Tricky Trials update, about 4 months of time, and the Bundles of Bravery drop. And by the way, Bundles of Bravery is too much of a mouthful, so Bob. We have Bob, and then 2 months, or so it seems, if the Creaking update is to release by the end of the year. You know, here, of course, not exact hard, cold timelines, just approximations, but we have about 2 months in between the Bundles of Bravery drop, and whenever the Creaking update should probably end up releasing. This is one of the largest pieces of the puzzle for our 1.22 date so far. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about how the Minecraft team works, because if we're doing drops, well, then how do major updates even happen? So first things first, the team that works on Minecraft nowadays, it's nothing like the early days. This team is pretty massive. To my understanding here, the team kind of divides and conquers, if you will, when it comes to Minecraft. So with this Bundles of Bravery update that happened earlier this year, there was tons and tons of bug fixing that went down. Like, it was actually absurd. All the while the bug fixing was going down, some new features, the Bundle, Hardcore Mode for Bedrock Edition, well, those new things, they were being whipped up at the same exact time. All the while, and keep in mind, this is all about the Bundles of Bravery update that we knew about at the time, but all the while, we also have some side experiments going on with minecarts and redstone. These could be two things considered completely separate, and then also at the same time, in order to get ready for Minecraft Live later this year, at least some of the devs, even if it's not very many, some of the devs had to be working on designing and getting the Creaking update into the game behind the scenes in the special dev-only version, because otherwise, at Minecraft Live, they would be showing off stuff that isn't even ready for the snapshot that would end up dropping only a week after the show. Divide and conquer, that's the big thing that I'm getting at here. The Minecraft team, when they're working on a future update, some of the team might be working on, say, the exact immediate update. So right now, for us, where we are today, that's the Creaking update. Many of the devs might be working on the Creaking update, but at least some of the devs are already cooking up whatever update might be next. And at the same time, to add even more confusion, some of the devs might be working on experimental updates too, if those were actually ongoing. I don't know if these things are still ongoing, but it is a thing, something to know. So I guess what I'm trying to establish with all of this is the fact that not only is the next update probably already being worked on behind the scenes, if that's 1.22 update or a drop, only time will tell, and to pull this whole working on multiple updates at the same time thing off, the devs seem to work in separate groups, with one group focusing on the current update, the next focusing on, well, something else. So I guess in this new world of drops, can a major update still exist? Well, definitely. They've done it before. Keep in mind the devs worked on the Armored Paws update and the Tricky Trials update at exactly the same time. Now, major updates. Traditionally, for years on years, like practically 15 years almost, the major updates were almost always revealed to the public at Minecraft Live, once a year. That's not going to be the case at all anymore. So if our video wasn't chaotic enough, let's just make it a little bit more chaotic. Why not? In our initial drop update announcement to blog post, we got a little bit of information on Minecraft Live. A new format for Minecraft Live. We're changing the format. Instead of doing one show per year, usually in October, Live will now be a more focused broadcast, and it will happen twice per year. Oh, that's interesting. Going further, each show will be packed with everything you need to know about the latest features we're working on, what's coming into testing, and the newest news from across the Minecraft franchise. Nice. Now, our most recent Minecraft Live was a gigantic departure on how things have been done for years on years and years. You see, at this year's Minecraft Live, not only did they axe the mob vote, but they actually announced this live like literally a week before it was happening, and it was shorter than ever before. Even including the after show, still being shorter than last year's Minecraft Live, which at the time was the shortest one ever. This shows us that going forward for future Minecraft lives, they might kind of be a little bit of a surprise thing where the devs say, hey, next week, big show. Make sure you tune in and check it out. And remember that this new show, well, it's going to happen 2 times a year now. Even though we kind of relatively just had the past Minecraft live happening at the end of September, what if I told you we already know when the next one is going to happen? Kind of. Oh, man, with all of these browser tabs that I have open, I probably look insane. Yeah. This went down immediately after this year's Minecraft Live. The creaking update was shown off, the movie stuff, whatever. We got a thread of tweets over on Twitter from the Minecraft account kind of highlighting all of the big announcements, and then at the end of it, heads up, we're planning 2 Minecraft live shows per year. See you at the next one in the first half of 2025. Aha! Our next Minecraft live is first half of 2025. That means really at the time of recording this video, that live could be no more than really like 6 months away. Now things get a little bit tricky here again because the devs just said the Minecraft Live is completely different now. So will they say debuting a major update, say 1.22, whatever it is, for a Minecraft Live show? We have no clue, but at the same time, it sort of feels like that might be the move. And jumping back to timelines for a quick second here, if we're going to have 2 Minecraft Lives a year, and let's assume just for a second that one of those Minecraft Lives will happen about the same time that it usually does, late September, October, whatever. Well, the other live is going to happen probably about 6 months before that. About 6 months before the 9th month is the 3rd month, which is March. And look, if you saw my wall right now, how it looks with red lines all over, dots connecting one dot to the other one all the way on the right and back to the middle again. Well, following this timeline that we figured out earlier, the simple pattern, 4 months, 2 months, 4 months, 2 months, 4 months from now, 4 months from the release of the creaking update is April. 1 month after March. So in conclusion, to clear up some of the stuff I almost want to say discovered here today, but instead maybe talked about. For starters, 1.22, I definitely still think it's on the table. It'll happen eventually. We're not in 1.21 purgatory forever. There's a strange pattern right now with the drops and updates, how they seem to be coming out. Will this pattern always persist? Probably not, but it's interesting right now. We have a Minecraft live show that will happen in the first half of the next year. If it's 6 months from when lives usually happen, it should happen somewhere around the spring. And the spring, at least right now, from the look of this rough timeline, it seems like it might be the perfect time for our next drop to potentially release. What better time than ever to kick off a brand new year with a brand new bumping of the major Minecraft number up and maybe a drop that's a little bit larger. So the prediction right here with all of that information, perhaps Minecraft 1.22, we're looking at an update that could potentially, on the greatest side of things, see a release sometime next spring. On the less great side of things was still pretty cool. See a potential initial debut to the public sometime next spring. What do you think about all of my logic, crazy numbers, and a little bit of math here? Do you agree? Maybe you've got a different idea or some secret inside knowledge. Well, pass it along, please, friend. Your thoughts, tell me all about them down below. Call it right here. When do you think 1.22 will release? Do yourself a favor to stay up to date with all of the Minecraft updates and make sure you're subscribed and turn notifications on if you're really cool. My patrons, a huge shout out to you. Gron Crazy May, Medical Boomstick, Fire Dragon 19, Steve M, Nick C, The Duke, Pixie Phantom, Deb K, Fateful Grimoire, and Jilly. It's been me, Waddles. I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.